The harder they fall. That's right, folks. I am talking about a Netflix movie. You guys know, and if you don't, I don't actively watch Netflix programming just because it's not my favorite streaming service. And when it comes to their original films, like their Netflix exclusive films, I think sometimes they just all feel the same and they don't have that cinematic flavor, which I think is very fair to talk about and something that could add to the criticism of these films. They all have the same shine to them that doesn't give it this prestigious filmmaking, and eventually they just all kind of fall flat. That being said, somebody who doesn't really watch Netflix, The Harder They Fall did intrigue me because I'm a sucker for a Western. I think there's something in every man in particular that draws you back to this genre compared to others, because it's like the gangster film, it's like the crime film. It is just, what if you were in that situation? How would you react? How would you handle yourself? And the Western's just cool because it's just like, a bunch of dirt, bunch of horses, just masculine shit, and that's kind of fun to see. So I like a good Western. I'm always excited when a new Western comes out because the genre was dead for a while, and it's just kind of found a new home of being like just prestigious type of stories, which is kind of cool to see. So this film, it is just a simple Western story with an all-star cast. Jonathan Majors is here, Idris Elba, Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield, Zazie Beetz, like RJ Cyler. There's a lot of names in this movie. And it is such a interesting one. I would hesitate to call it bad. There's nothing wrong with this film. The acting is great. The characters are cool. The story is very typical of the genre, but you should come to expect that. When you go into something like this, where it's like a certain time period, certain points need to be made, you're going to have certain expectations and certain qualities of the film that have to be made that way. So the fact that it's troped up and very familiar doesn't bother me in this genre. Everything about this film, on paper, works. Every characterization, every character motive, every single part of the story, the cinematography even, it all works fine. I think the problem is it's just not that special. And that kind of sucks because this genre has kind of become that special thing where you just want to go into it and have a good time and have a bunch of laughs. But it just doesn't hook you or sink into you. It just kind of washes over you like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying these characters. I'm enjoying this world. I said the cinematography looks great. It does. It's very well made. Just like the long drawn shots leading into people are great. The wide aspect, everything about it just looks fantastic. The set is great. I think the lighting is a problem where it just looks too bright, and that kind of sucks because it just takes away from a certain aesthetic choice where it's just like, oh, this clearly looks like they're filming it on a backlot somewhere, which does affect the viewing of this film, and that kind of sucks in that aspect. And I will say, it does just kind of take you out of it a little bit. You're like, oh yeah, this is just Idris Elba in a suit, just doing just like a funny villain thing. It's okay, but it's not that spectacular, which kind of sucks. And that could just literally be the Netflix thing, where because it's Netflix, it doesn't have that prestigious quality. It doesn't have all the perfect aspects to everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just how I feel. Another part of this film is this use that we've seen it a lot lately, especially in genre pieces. It's the modern music playing over the time period where it's taking place, and it's okay. I don't know if it would work without the modern music. The soundtrack's great. It's great musical choices. They work really good. Everything about that's cool, but I'm just like, is the music why I think this is special? Is the music adding to what makes this look different or creative? I think it does play a factor. Same with kind of the oversensitized violence of everything, where everything is just bloody and broken and dark. It's very much a Western. It looks like it, and just because of that, there's nothing really special about the way it feels, which kind of sucks. And I wish there was just something else about this that hooked my interest. I'm like, this washes over you to the point where it loses its creativity. And maybe it's because I'm not the biggest Western fan. I don't think it's special, but I do like the opening credits where we get the title card for every character. I thought that was creative and fun. I do like some of the certain more monologue speeches given to characters, like Regina King in particular. Lakeith Stanfield gets a great one in there. The one at the end of Idris is very fun to see. And then Jonathan Majors, again, he's a very talented actor. So the fact that he can just get work like this and just go into a Western and it feels good, that's impressive to see. I do like him in here. But this film also has the problem, and it's very noticeable, where you're just like, I know all these actors, so this doesn't feel like a movie. It just feels like, yes, here they are. These people we know doing their Western. And it hinders your enjoyment, because you just pick out everybody and you're just like, yeah, there we go. And that kind of sucks for things. But this film is still very fascinating. You know, the story, it does work. The motives work. The motives in particular, I think, are very important for this kind of genre. Everyone's got their own one, and everybody's got their own characterization. They all feel different, and the world does kind of feel alive. If not alive in the sense that, like, we built a studio and a stage for you to perform this on, it does feel lived in a sense, but not to the point where it's like an old Western. It's just like, look at these cute actors of today dressing up in an Old West setting. And it's just works in certain moments, and then certain moments just like, oh, there you go, Regina King, being the girl. It is weird at that point, and I don't know. Some things about this, they just excite me. Then there's other things where it's just, oh man, I get it. Do I need to watch this? It is over 2 hours, which I don't think hurts the film, but eventually you just go, did we need this part in the middle to get here when we could have just had this happen here? I don't know. It does get very violent towards the end, which is kind of cool to see, but overall, this film is cool. It is fun. It is different, but it's also familiar and basic and not different. So it's a Netflix film. It's going to appease the people of Netflix who think these things can do special creatively driven stuff, but they just don't. And this just becomes another standard Western in the modern times that doesn't capture the world perfectly, and you don't believe some of the actors fit in that time. The story is cool, the characters are fun, but everything else about it just looks too perfect and pretty to be special in any way. So, The Harder They Fall, I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.